Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, we're gonna go back to looking at your comments, doing a little question and answer, rating your ski setups, and just answering questions for people who want to buy skis. Because if you're smart, you're looking at buying skis now. Now, I don't care if you buy skis. If you don't need skis, don't buy them. But if you are looking for ski gear, now is the time to get it. In fact, I just picked up a pair of Look Pivot 18s from Evo. I picked up a ski jacket from Gear Trade. I'll try to see if I can find a link for it. I'm not sponsored by Gear Trade, but I like buying stuff used. It's ethical, it keeps it out of the landfills. I don't know, for jackets and snow pants and things like that, as long as they're in good condition, I try to buy stuff used. I don't know, it's just a personal thing that I care about. What else did I get? I got my helmet, and I may pick up a pair of skis. I'm not sure about that one. So anyway, if you are a smart skier, buy now. If you are desperate, buy in the winter. But I honestly think that some of the best deals are right now or in the next month or so. So, you know, as much as like if I was a smart, business savvy person, I'd be putting in all these links when things are full price. And I still will, like for maybe deals, but I really don't care that much about that. I really care more about, hey, you guys are the reason that I'm able to demo skis. You guys watching is the reason I'm able to have this channel. So I want to give back. I want to give you guys suggestions, recommendations, answer your questions so you can make purchases now while ski gear is at an all-time low price-wise. So without further ado, let's jump into the comments, let's jump into the questions and see what we can do to help you guys out right now. But before we jump into that, please consider liking and subscribing. That is a free way to support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps me kind of leverage this channel towards getting skis to review in the winter. So if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. You know, I don't like asking for it, but it does help the channel out long term. I will also have our memberships down below, which allow you to get access to videos early. It allows you to get access to me if you want to ask me a ski question privately. You are able to do that. It'll also give you a bunch of different perks. The top tier is like you can send me video of you skiing and I will critique it and give you drills to work on. So there's a lot of good things there. But anyway, back into the video. All right, the first comment comes from MJ Diane. MJ Diane, I'm not sure. I enjoy watching your content. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Keep creating fun content. I'm an intermediate female skier. Gotta give this a try. Okay. Intermediate's a little vague, to be honest. I feel like everybody feels like they're an intermediate. There's times where I feel like an intermediate. I'm like, I'm good, but there's always stuff to learn. Anyway, also you notice I'm just drinking water, no Red Bull. I'm trying to keep myself honest to that. If you didn't see already, I had a video yesterday about how Red Bull is like just escalating danger in the sport of skiing. But we're gonna talk about fun stuff today. The email goes on, Utah-based, 3rd season and still figuring out my quiver. I have an Elon Ripstick 86 and a 148 first season that cut a little short that I want because of a ski accident. Getting rid of this. Okay, so you're getting rid of the Ripstick? Okay, whatever. Salomon QST Spark 84, 150 second season. That is a very narrow QST. I didn't know they made QSTs that narrow. Oh, wow. Okay, that's news to me, but all right. Nordica Santa Ana 88 in a 159. Atomic Clouds C9 72 in a 150. Getting rid of it in the fall. I don't feel stable when I go a little fast. Okay, I understand the ski now. Nordica Wild Bell DC 84. Will give to my teenage niece who started to learn ski last winter. Stockli Storm Rider 95 156. 2019 version, bought used. Can't say no for a great deal. And for a Storm Rider in 156 length, that works for me. I hate spring skiing, but not an SR95. Yeah, I bet. The Storm Rider is fantastic for spring skiing. It's just got enough like weight and momentum and it's so damp that it does really well with those spring conditions. Although I can feel it's challenging to turn sometimes, maybe the weight or just need time to adjust the stiffness. What you're probably feeling is that dampness. It eats up your energy when you're flexing. It's not always a problem, but throughout the day, like having a ski that's damp can kind of drain your legs a little bit more than a different ski. But you get the best dampness out of that, so it's a trade-off. Stockli Nella 96 164. Oh my god, this is a lot of skis. I want to go off-piste and learn to ski in powder, but I didn't get the chance to take this out. The length is kind of intimidating to me. Maybe swap with a shorter one or just sell and make the Storm Rider 95 work. Contemplating on a carving ski that will replace my Cloud C9. Great deals going on right now. Stockli Laser MX 67 in 158, Stockli Laser SC 72 and 149. Also thinking about the Volkl Kenya 88 to replace my Santa Ana. It feels like Stockli ruined things for me. Now I'm just craving for that smoothness. I heard the great things about Volkl and Kesley, whatever, I don't know. Okay, wow, you have a lot of skis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 going on 8 pairs of skis. This is a lot, and you have a lot of skis doing the same thing. You're pretty much everything from the Elan Ripstick down to the Nordica. Your QST is a little different, I guess. Nordica Santa Ana, Atomic Cloud, Nordica Bell. They're all in that kind of like 77 to 84 millimeter width. You have a lot of redundancy there. This quiver does kind of make sense to me in the fact that you said you're an intermediate skier, and this looks like a ski quiver that is getting built out over time. But here's what I do. I would sell everything you don't use more than 5 days a year. You mentioned giving away stuff to your niece. You mentioned giving away or selling other parts of your ski quiver. I would get rid of anything you're not really using a lot. The thing, like you described, is, well, now that I've been on Stockli's, it kind of ruins everything else for me, is actually a thought you should listen to. Because you like your Stockli Storm Riders so much and you're not wanting to ski on these other skis, means that they've kind of been made invalid. Now, I'm sure a lot of these skis, like the Elan Ripstick and the QST Spark, were really good for when you were a beginner skier, or, you know, beginner, early, intermediate. I think now it's time to let go of those skis because they really aren't doing enough that is going to challenge you or enough that's unique to justify their spot on your roster. What I would do is, you've got your Stockli Storm Rider 95, keep that as your spring skiing ski. Everything you're explaining with like the lasers, because I've skied the lasers and really like them, but they are like slalom skis. They are closer to race skis, honestly. If you like the smoothness of the Storm Rider, I would demo a pair of the Stockli Montero ARs. I really like those, and I think that that would be a great daily driver for you. I think that you keep the Storm Rider 95s, obviously you like those. I think that's a great spring ski. If you wanted a ski similar to that, try the Volkl Kenyas. They are also a great spring ski. They have a really nice adjustable turn radius in them, where like depending on how you ski them, you can get short radius turns and then more open radius turns. I love the Kendo 88s, and I bet that you might really like the Kenya 88s based on everything you've said here. But if you're trying to be really efficient with it, I wouldn't replace your Storm Riders with a Kenya. Like they're too similar. I think your Storm Rider 95 is doing a lot of what the Kenya's kind of gonna do. They're different, but they're not different enough. So I would try a Montero. They've got a lot of that dampness that you like and you described, while also giving you the precision of the laser. So I would check that out. And then maybe consider getting a powder ski if you're open to that. If you want to, if you're in Utah, you've got some of the best powder skiing in the world at your fingertips. I would start dipping your toes into it. A really good kind of like new to powder ski that I like is the Atomic Backland. I think that's a very forgiving ski. It gives you a lot of maneuverability. You're not gonna get kind of stuck into big open lines. You could also try out a Headcore 105. I feel like those are equally forgiving with the powder, just in that they're very light and very maneuverable. I think you should really, with how many pairs of skis you have, branch out a little bit. Get some designated powder skis. Not only do you live in one of the best areas in the country for total snowfall, but you also have the best kind of snow, which is light, airy, fluffy. You get so much wind and it gets so like light and fluffy. The texture is easy to float on. It's what they call that kind of like perfect powder. You live in an absolutely fantastic area for powder skiing. I know you said you're an intermediate, but find a safe area to do this. Go with a group of people, right? You know, so it's not as dangerous, or at least like you have people to like, you're not gonna get lost in a tree well or anything. But go and get yourself a designated pair of powder skis, and I think that would really build out your quiver and you would really enjoy that. You could get a pair of Atomic Backland, but really get a pair of powder skis that would really build out your quiver. Try out some Stockli Montero ARs that would replace like 4 or 5 different pairs of skis here in that width. And then that'll still give you the carving you're looking for from the laser, but give you the dampness you like of the Storm Rider. At least in my experience. Again, I tried these skis like 5 years apart, so take it with a grain of salt, but I would absolutely try out a Montero AR and like an Atomic Backland 104 for powder. And if you did that, you could get rid of like 6 pairs of skis, keep your Storm Riders, keep your Nellas, and the rest of your quiver will be looking nice. Anyway, MJ, thank you so much for the comment. You know, an overall nice quiver. I can kind of trace along your progression as a skier, and it's very cool to see. All in all, I'd say you have good taste, but I think your local shop probably loves you, because this is a lot of skis. And like 4 or 5 of them are similar width. You gotta branch out a little bit. We all go through that, where we're trying different things out and seeing what we like. But if you're not using something more than 5 days, I would just jettison it out of the quiver. All right, the next comment says, on my review of the Nordica Enforcer 99 for 2025. Okay, this is a while ago. Okay, they wrote, why not just try another pair of 2024 Enforcer 100s instead of saving, maybe you got a bad pair over and over again. I still see a lot of people wondering if they should get the old model on clearance. That's a fair point. You know, I think this is, you know, not like a very positive comment, but I think it's a fair point. If I was living in a perfect world where I had like tons of funding, tons of time, and I could just like very meticulously try any ski on whim, I would absolutely do that and try more of the 2024 Nordica Enforcer 100s, but it doesn't make sense for a few reasons. One, just logistically, like the ski shops weren't carrying the Nordica Enforcer for 2024 at the end of the season. They had replaced it with the 2025, so it was literally impossible. So that's like the first big barrier. Two, I only have so many days that I can review skis, and going back and re-reviewing a ski that I've already done and paying to do it twice doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think it serves the people watching that well. So like, you know, it's just kind of beating a dead horse, especially when I've already reviewed the 2025 going into next year. I think that's a better use of time, and I don't want to recycle for something that has one foot in the grave anyway. I think your suggestion's very scientific. It makes a lot of sense, but all in all, I don't have that much interest in retreading an old tire like that. I think that if Nordica really cared about my opinion on the ski, then they can send a pair. But whatever I get from the demo shop is what I get, and I'm gonna form my opinion around that. It is not my responsibility to make sure that I get a good pair of skis. That's on the ski manufacturer. If I pay money to demo skis in a ski shop, that is symbolic of what anybody off the street would get for an experience on the skis. So that is how I'm going to assess them. And I'm not gonna give a ski special treatment just because it's popular or whatever. If Nordica really cared, they were more than welcome. I've reached out to them. They have my address. They can send me skis, but they have chosen not to. And so I have to go through the demo shop. And you know, it's basically like I've got what I'm working with. The other thing too is that from seeing other reviews of people who are positive about them, I noticed that there is a certain ski style that seems to enjoy them versus my ski style, which tends to not. And that is of kind of lighter skiers throwing the skis and letting them grab. Whereas I like to really build pressure throughout this turn. It's also a very old ski design that's finally getting retired, so there's that. It just doesn't make any sense from a logistic standpoint, and it's not practical at all to like go back and retry any ski that gets negative feedback. I still said overall it was like a stable platform, but I think that if anyone's looking at buying Nordica Enforcers, in my opinion, from what I tried, I would get the 2025s. I think they fixed a lot of what I didn't like about the Nordica Enforcers. I think even Nordica has admitted in a roundabout way that they didn't like the stiffness of the wood because they went with a different wood supplier. I think that the 2025 fixes a lot of what I didn't like about the 2024s, with giving me my energy back out of the turn, with having a lot more elasticity in the turns, with kind of snapping back and reforming in a proper way. So, you know, I'm just gonna suggest based off of my experience, because that's the most honest way I can assess skis. But thank you for the comment. You know, positive or negative, I take what you guys say seriously. All right, the next comment comes from E. Hins. He says, can you do a video on ski racing for either kids or adults who want to get into it? Your videos are great. Okay, that's a little vague. Like, I'm not sure exactly what you want to know, but I can tell you maybe what I do with my kids, because they are of the age where they can start ski racing, and I can kind of tell you my philosophy on ski racing as somebody who ski raced in the Berkman Academy junior program, high school, college, yada yada, coached, level 100, was a certified race referee through USSA. I'll give you kind of my thoughts on ski racing in general for kids. The way that I approach it is the way that I've heard the Austrians do it, where they don't have kids even touch gates until they're like 12 or 14 or something. Again, that's just a rumor I heard. I don't know any Austrians, so anyone from Austria or Europe that wants to confirm or deny that, feel free. But they don't have kids even touch gates until they're older, because a lot of the fundamentals you build are from free skiing. So I really don't have my kids race at all. I just go skiing with them a lot. I tend to enjoy teaching them fundamentals of skiing, teaching them how to carve, teaching them how to go off trail. So I take a very holistic approach to it. My daughter is finally old enough where she can ski race, and even then I just have her do a program where she has free skiing and just does a handful of races, because I really don't want racing to be the focal point. I want building good fundamentals of skiing through mileage, through repetition to be the key part. So I would say if you are wanting to get into ski racing for your kids when they're younger or as an adult, focus first on your free skiing. Get as much mileage as you can under kids' feet so that they can build those skills. And just the approach I've always taken as a coach is like having kids focus on one thing at a time. Okay, right now we're focusing on downhill ski pressure. Okay, right now we're focusing on upper body, lower body separation. But kids get overwhelmed very easily, so if you're trying to coach your own kid, focus on one thing at a time. And the biggest thing of all things for kids and ski racing, make sure it's fun. It has to be fun. There's an old Ben and Jerry saying, if it's not fun, why do it? And that is my motto when it comes to kids and skiing. As soon as my kids aren't having fun, we're off the hill, we're gonna go do something else. I make sure I have lots of snacks and treats in my pockets. Skiing is fun, it's a lifetime sport, and if they're gonna do it for a long time, they have to find something fun about it. So I hope that advice is helpful for an adult getting into ski racing. I would watch a lot of videos, honestly. You can watch stompage tutorials for the real basics. If you're a more granular learner, Tom Gelly and Deb Armstrong seem to have a pretty big fan base. I've got a couple videos on carving. Take some lessons. I'm sure there's plenty of areas where you can do masters leagues. There's plenty of beer leagues where people will like once a week go and race. I know that I personally worked at the Rickety Wybrecht camp in the summer, and we had a lot of masters racers where one summer camp session would progress them. Like it felt like almost a year's worth, because it's very focused and you're getting a new coach explaining something to you in a new way. So if you're a racer as an adult and you want to get into it, that's a good way to do it if you want to progress. You know, I would just focus on your fundamentals and carving, and then once a week, find a way to get into some gates and implement what you've been working on throughout the week. I hope you found that helpful. Maybe if you're a little bit more specific and you want to send me a follow-up message, I can try to answer it that way. But great question. Thank you so much. All right, the next comment comes from Darren Smith, who always leaves great comments. This one's a little long, so I'm going to paraphrase here. I am looking for a ski for early season, one that can make very quick turns. I will be on groomers, but can turn crud really fast with a ton of people. I looked at the Ski Essentials review for the Deacon 80, and this review came up. I think 170 is probably my target length. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there, and then I'm just gonna read that and then give you what I would suggest. Because you have a pair of Storm Rider 105s. I love your messages, but this one's very long. I wouldn't get the Deacon 79 or the Deacon 80. I think if you want a short radius turning ski and you know you like Volkls, go with the Kendo 88. It's just a better ski. It's more versatile. It carves better. In my opinion, it does such a better job of being fun and turning in short radiuses. The Deacons are fine, but they feel a little weird. I think I describe them as like a race car in the front and a horse and buggy in the back. They just don't have enough platform on the tails to really ski the way I like to. Your mileage may vary, but that's my recommendation. Go with the Kendo 88. If you don't really like short radius turns, Black Crow's Octo is amazing. You've got the Head Core 87 that does a great job. You've got the Black Crow's Mirrors Core if you care about freestyle, but I would look at like an Octo. Something like that I think could be a lot of fun and a great ski, or the Kendo 88 if you're really set on Volkl. Either of those skis are great options, and I don't know, I just think that the Deacon, you're really not getting a lot of bang for your buck with that ski. All right, Andy Ange says on the Volkl Kendo 88 review, what would be a good off-trail ski to go with these to complete my 2-ski quiver? What a great question. Well, a lot of that depends on what you like. A lot of skis, like nobody goes out on purpose to design a bad ski. A lot of it is to taste, so it's just figuring out about like what you like. One thing I recommend to a lot of people, if you're not sure about a ski, go make a list of things you care about, write it down on a piece of paper, and then watch some of my reviews to see like what things have those things and what things don't. That way you're not kind of inserting what you want onto a cool top sheet. As far as what would I do to complement a Volkl Kendo 88, I mean, those are amazing skis. They're great carving skis. They're great for spring weather. If I was looking for a ski to complement that, I would pick something wide and good flotation. I would probably get an Atomic Bent 110. That's what I would suggest. I think that that ski does things so differently than Kendo 88. It's good for light and fluffy snow. It's good for off trail. Whereas the Kendo 88 is kind of like a really great carving ski. It's great for getting through crud. It's got short turn radiuses. Get like a nice big Bent 110 that's a little more open radius, has more flotation. If you don't care about powder at all and you just want carving, a nice complementary ski might be more in your range of like the Myers Wrangler, an Atomic Maverick 100 or the 105 CTI. It just depends on what you want. If you want a longer kind of open radius ski, you could look at like a Draco Freebird. I don't know, just it totally depends on what you want. It's hard too because you could almost recommend the M7 Mantra, honestly. I just think it depends on how much diversity you want and where you're at. But I'm gonna stick with the Atomic Bent 110. I think that's a great suggestion. Or the Atomic Maverick 105 CTI. Both excellent options for what you're describing. All right, the next comment comes from C-My6. I currently ski the Atomic Maverick 95 Ti on the East Coast, exclusively Sugarloaf. Would you see it to be worthwhile to include the 100 Ti in the Quiver for the occasional excursion to Utah in those day after East Coast storm days when things get trashed out? Oh man, I love recommending the Atomic Maverick 100 Ti. I feel sad that it's disappearing. I understand why it's disappearing though, because in your case, I really can't recommend it. It's just so similar to your 95s. You're really only getting like a 5% difference overall in experience. What I would do is branch out and get something that has just more variety and where you're really gonna get more value out of your purchase. Honestly, I would get either an Atomic Maverick 105 or 115. I've only done the 105, so it's hard to make a big recommendation there. But honestly, you know what I would buy? I hate to sound like a broken record, but I would buy a pair of Atomic Bent 110s. You already know you like the Maverick, you like the way the Horizon tech works. Get a pair of Bent 110s. You'll use the Mavericks for the majority of the time, but you'll be able to use the Bent 110s on like those kind of trashed out days where you're getting big snow. I'm guessing that's what that means. But also, when you go to Utah, I would want a pair of Bent 110s. Other option is the Salomon QST 106, Draco Freebird 110, the Rossignol Thunder 110 is nice. But if you already know you like the Maverick 95, I think the Bent 110 is a nice option and it's giving you a little bit of variety. I would also, before you buy, and this is why I'm so bad at this, right? Because I'm not just telling you to go buy stuff. But if you want, go demo a pair and test out the position of the bindings to see where you like them mounted. My big regret with the Bent 110s is not trying them mounted 2 clicks back, because I think that would have been a cool experience. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I love recommending the 100 Ti, but since you already have the 95 Ti, get something that's a little bit more different. All right, finally, the last comment comes from Dwayne Arayan 3716. Elliott, you are really cranking out these videos like a machine. Love the content. Thanks for all the advice. Well, I think that's a nice, pleasant comment to end on. Thank you so much, Dwayne. And I see all your comments. I really appreciate all of them. I will say that I am going to try to keep up these 3 videos a week. Just, you know, to make it a little bit personal lately. My youngest son, who has autism spectrum disorder, they've recently announced at our daycare that they can no longer accommodate him. Basically, they had a one-on-one person and that didn't work out. So we temporarily don't have daycare. Now, I'm still planning on coming out and shooting these videos, working with my wife and finding time maybe at night when my kids are in bed to shoot these videos. So you may see more night shoots where it's dark and it's random times of night, but just wanted you guys to know, if you know, I'm still planning on doing my 3 videos a week, but there is a road bump coming up ahead in the next week. So you guys might see that with the content coming up, and I don't know, I guess I just wanted to let you know. I also wanted to announce that I have had 2 brands already send new skis for next year, a pair from Renown that I'm not allowed to talk about, and a pair from Stockli. So we already have skis lined up going into 2025 season. I'm really excited about. Volkl is supposed to be sending some, though I'm not totally sure, but I have a lot of trust. The guy I've been working with seems really nice. Fingers crossed, hoping to have those Volkls in the lineup because I'm really eager to try out the new Volkls. But I just, as a channel update, I want to let you guys know that there are big things in the works. I'm also working on a few things on the back end that I think will be really cool for you guys. Just so you guys know, there is more ski content on the future, and I'm really excited about this coming winter. But anyway, that's the end of this video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. That's a free way for you to support the channel. I really appreciate you guys being here watching. You can also become members down below if you want to see my videos early. And of course, I will put links down below for all of the skis that I recommended today. You can get them if you are planning on buying skis anyway. If you use those links, it's an affiliate link and it basically sends a percentage of your purchase to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a free way to financially support the channel if you found this useful. But as always, more than anything, thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch my content. It really means a lot to me. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.